Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 9:14 a.m. on this freezing cold Thursday morning. It's 14 degrees outside. 14 degrees. It's cold. And I just woke up about a half an hour ago. I know I said I was going to vlog last night, but that did not happen. I got so tired last night. And it was a different kind of tired than I usually get. So I have to believe that it was as a result of the booster. I was in bed last night by 9:45 and probably asleep by 10 o'clock. And then Alex came up like an hour later and went to bed. And I was just like, I am in bed for the night. Like, I was so exhausted. And then I woke up this morning at about 8:30, between 8 and 8:30. So I got like 10 hours of sleep. And you guys, I'm still tired today. Like, I'm still super lethargic. And I feel like weirdly lethargic. So I don't know, and I will say my arm is like really, really sore. But that's kind of what I've heard from everybody, is that their arm hurt and they were really tired. But I'm gonna push through and I'm gonna vlog this morning. I really wanted to vlog last night. But had I vlogged last night, I probably would have slept in today, so I didn't need to sleep like 14 or 15 hours, you know. So I'm gonna vlog this morning, and then I am going to go do a review. I did a review yesterday at Dunkin Donuts, but I think I'm gonna do a review at Dunkin Donuts again today because they have some new stuff out. And because a lot of times what happens is, often I we'll go through and I'll see that someplace has like 4 or 5 new things, and then I'll review one of them, and then I'll say, oh, I'm gonna come back later and I'm gonna review this one like in a week or whatever, because I think it's boring to put 2 reviews up from the same place 2 days in a row. Although people probably don't care. I probably think more about that than other people do. But anyway, and then I never go back and do the review at that place. So then those things that are new become old and I don't ever review them. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna review these things at Dunkin Donuts today while I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I'm gonna do that as soon as I get done vlogging. And then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna film a Peterisms video. And if I am still tired after that, then I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. I have a doctor's appointment today. I thought it was at 2 o'clock, and it's just a check-in with my neurologist. And so I called to see if there was any way that I could like reschedule it or move it. And they're so like booked out, and his calendar isn't. So I said, well, I'll just come in today. It's fine. And I said, now what time is my appointment today? And she said, I had just checked, and I wrote it down, so it's on a post-it note at home, so I'm sure it says 3:30 at home. But in my head, somehow, I thought it was 2 o'clock. And I know that I would have just shown up there at 2 o'clock thinking my appointment was at 2 o'clock and had to have waited an hour and a half. So it's a good thing that I ended up calling and seeing if I could. But anyway, I'm going to go in today for my doctor's appointment. I'm going to like see how much I can get done. And then I think just relax again tonight. Alex came home last night and I was so hungry. And it was so cold outside, and I was like, I just want to eat like comfort food. And so I I ended up ordering Maggiano's last night. And we had Maggiano's, and we watched 2 episodes of One of Us is Lying, which is a book by Karen McManus that they turned into like a TV series on Peacock. It's really pretty good. But the TV series is, there's like little flakes of snow falling outside. But I don't think we're supposed to get any real snow today. But the TV series is so like more adult themed than the book was. I really liked the book. The first one's called One of Us is Lying, and the second one is called One of Us is Next. And I haven't actually read that one yet. But I want to read that one too. So anyway, we watched that, and then he was going to watch, well, he started watching a 3rd episode. I think he did watch. Did we watch the 2nd episode or the 3rd one? I think we watched the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 3rd and 4th episode, and then, because we had watched like the first 2 before, and then he watched the 5th episode, maybe the 6th, I don't know. I sat there and watched like 10 or 15 minutes of it, and I was like, I have got to go to bed. I wanted to get rid of all of our stuff off the front porch, because it's trash day today. But it is so cold outside, you guys. I was like not wanting to like unwind the lights and stuff last night and today. So I told Alex, I said, it's just gonna have to wait until next week. And the Christmas trees are still up. I brought the box to the bedroom. I changed all the bedding and stuff. It was so cold last night. Like even in our house with our heat set, we like have our heat set to like 71, and it's still like freezing in our house. And you know, we have wood floors, and so it's real drafty. And so last night I had the new, well, I put new blue sheets on the bed because Alex had bought these sheets. And then I put the green and blue plaid comforter on. And then I also put, you know, that blanket that I got one for the front porch for the fall, but then I bought another one for the bed from Costco. I put that on the bed. It was so cozy last night. And the dogs were so cozy, and they were being so sweet. I am not looking forward to 2-3 more months of this weather. I mean, it's just, did you see it in the background? It's just gray, and it's just, I'm ready for some sunshine. And the thing is that even when it's like really sunny on days like this where it's cold, it's still, I don't know how to explain it, but it's still not like pretty. It's just sunny and cold. That's where I wish that we'd at least get some snow. Anyway, yesterday, when I got done vlogging, I did my review at Dunkin Donuts, and then I went home and I uploaded those 2 things, and then I made a Peterisms video, and then I did a booktube video counting down my top 15 books of 2021. So that's over on my booktube channel. And then and as I drove around yesterday, I listened to some of my audiobook, which is The Third Rainbow Girl, which is the book for True Crime Book Club that we are meeting online this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I made 2 drama videos, and then I made a Peter Does Stuff video. I am really struggling getting into this book, this true crime book. It really reads, I may have said this on here already, it really reads like a thesis, like a doctoral thesis. And I don't know like how old the author is, but the narrator sounds like she's like 19 or 20. And so when you're reading it and you're listening to it on Audible, it comes across as if somebody like very, very young is, what happened to that house over there? They just have it like paneled out or something. I was going to show you guys, but, and so when you're listening to it on Audible and she's talking, she's giving like this history of West Virginia that, no offense, but she goes into this like, all of these like minute details of the history of West Virginia and how like all these people ended up living there through communal living, and I honestly just don't care. Like, I really don't. Who's texting me? And so I'm just like, you know, listening to this audiobook, and I'm like, okay, when do we get to the true crime part? And there's literally like this one part where she's like, da-da-da-da-da, West Virginia in this town, and then she goes in and she's talking about this guy and he discovered the bodies, and then she flashes back to these two girls and like when they grew up, and I don't know, I'm just not super interested in this book. I wish I was, because I've got about 10 other books that I want to read right now. So I'm like, can I just finish this book so that I can get into my other 10 books? Let me pull in here. I gotta read these texts. I think they're from Alex. The Valvoline instant oil change. I didn't even know this Valvoline place was open. This used to be a strip mall. And they had that, they had that fruit thing. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where you can get bouquets of fruit. I think it was called like edibles or something, but not those kind. But it was like where you could get, like it would look like a bouquet. I feel like I've gotten it like one time. Like somebody got it for me. I always wanted one. I was like so obsessed with them. But I think I got one like a couple years ago. And then I didn't even eat everything on it. But it's like a bouquet, and it's like it has like a piece of pineapple on the end and apples and strawberries. And they look real pretty, right? And then they have like stuff that's like dipped in chocolate, and it makes like, it looks like a bouquet of flowers, but it's all like fruit. Have you guys seen these things? Yeah, they're cool. Oh, my arm. That used to be in there. There used to be like, there was a smoke shop in there. There was like all these things in that strip mall. Well, they took that whole strip mall down, and now it's a Valvoline oil change. Just in case you need to know. Just in case you need to know. Made my coffee this morning. I am drinking Holiday Blend. Dog park is empty today. Our neighbors take their dog to that dog park. In the summer, sometimes it's packed. I've never taken Boo or Tucker to the dog park. I think they would act crazy. I think they would act like total fools. Although when we take them to the kennel, Tanya said that they're socialized really well. Like, she's like, they get along really well with other dogs. They just bark a lot. Boo is so scared that, I mean, he acts tough, but like, if he is around like people that he doesn't know, Or, like yesterday, I was like outside and my neighbors across the street were outside. They were getting ready to take a walk in the freezing cold. And I was talking to them about our HOA fees, because our HOA fees went up. And I was talking to them about that. And, but anyway, the dogs like ran across the street. Well, Tucker ran across. And, our street is literally like not even 10 feet across, I don't think. I mean, it's like just enough to get a car like through. Our streets are so small. But anyway, they're real friendly to the dogs. And so, but Tucker ran across the street and Boo just kind of sat there for a second, because he's scared of people and other dogs. And so only when I walked over there did he start like walking over there, and then he's like wagging his tail and like being real excited to talk to them and stuff like that, you know? So yeah, they moved up our HOA fees. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the management company. I don't know if you guys know how this works. So the HOA is the homeowners association, okay? That's like me and everybody that lives in the neighborhood, although I'm not on the board. But I guess I could run for the board if I wanted to, but I have no desire to run for the board. I'd rather just complain about the board. So anyway, but it is these people that like, literally they're just kind of consumed with this stuff, right? I mean, when I tell friends of mine this story that actually live in like other neighborhoods that have similar HOAs, they're kind of like blown away by like, I mean, how absolutely involved these HOA board members get in like every decision that's made. I mean, I haven't even told you guys the least of, I mean, not really anything that affects us, but like with our neighbors and stuff like that. Getting stuff done to their condo, and then like the HOA board being like, no, you can't do that. And I mean, it's unreal, honestly. So we pay HOA fees every month, and the HOA fees go towards snow removal, maintenance of the neighborhood, which that would be like the trees. We have beautiful trees in our neighborhood. The trees, the pool, the tennis courts, things like that, right? The guard gate, all that kind of stuff. And then, but it also goes towards like painting of the condos, maintenance of the condos, which like if they have to keep them up from year to year, we do all that, right? So they hardly ever have to remove snow. The lawn is cut, I think every other week, maybe every week, but I think it's every other week. And so anyway, our maintenance or our HOA fees are $431 a month. That's really high, okay? And here's the thing, is that like our condo is really small. But there are condos in our neighborhood, I mean, and there's only like, I need to go through and count and see how many condos there are. But there are probably only like 50 to 60 condos in the neighborhood, if that. It's small, and it's around 2 lakes. It's also maintenance of the lakes. But when the lakes need to like be, like they stock them with fish, and they like clean them and purify them like every other year. When they have to do that, like there's a lake assessment fee, and then we have to pay on top of that. I mean, it's just, it's constant with this stuff, right? So there was a rumor that they had voted on raising our HOA fees, but I couldn't find it in the minutes anywhere. I couldn't find it in, we get this newspaper once a month that tells like everything in the neighborhood. I couldn't find it in there. So, I mean, it's, what was, yeah, today's the 6th, so it was the 4th, and I'm like, it's the 4th, and we still haven't heard anything. So I called the management company, and I left a message, and I was like, hey, like, I heard a rumor that our HOA fees are going up. Our HOA fees are due on the 1st. I said, but I didn't want to mail a check, because this is the thing, okay? If you miss a payment, or you don't get it in on time, like, or you don't pay the full amount, they charge you $25 service fee, okay? On top of that, if you want to pay it online, they pay you a $20 service fee to pay it online, right? So I always mail mine in. Well, it's due on the 1st, but you have like a 30-day grace period. Well, one time I mailed mine, this was not too long ago. I mailed mine like on the 24th or the 23rd or something like that, and it didn't get there in time. Or they said it didn't get there on time. And I got charged, after all these years of living there, I got charged a service fee, right? Well, I just paid it. I was like, it's whatever. So, but I was like, I'm not going to send the wrong amount and then have them charge me on top of them having raised the HOA fees, right? So I called and I said, hey, yeah, like I heard a rumor that our HOA fees went up. Can you let me know, right? And so they put me through the accountant and I left a message with her. Well, the next day, she called me back and she said, yeah, your rates they've gone up from $431 to $452. I mean, this is now becoming like the price of some people's mortgage. It's ridiculous, you know? And so she's like, it's now like $452 a month. And I'm like, okay. So then that day, I got a letter in the mail. Does anybody else think that that's ridiculous, $452? I mean, does anybody think that that's a ridiculous amount of money for an HOA fee? I mean, I think it's outlandish. Okay, but mind you also, they have hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings, okay? So it's not like if tomorrow, like, something happened, like, they couldn't, like, fix the pool, or fix the tennis courts, or do painting and stuff. I mean, they have saved money. I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. So, anyway, I got a letter in the mail, and it said, new HOA fees due on the 1st. Your new rate. And I'm like, due on the 1st? We're getting the letter on the 5th. Like, are you kidding me? And so I was talking to my neighbor across the street about it. Because I'm like, how can they tell us this? And then, but it's $452. It's all a mess. The HOA, the maintenance company, all of it. You can hardly ever get anybody on the phone with the maintenance company. So, oh, this is what I was going to say. The thing that's so screwed up about it is that, like, so, you know, our condo is small. We have, like, the smallest unit in the neighborhood. And there's like 2 or 3 just like ours. But there are condos in our neighborhood that are literally freestanding houses that are 5 bedrooms, 3-car garages. Not many, but there's a few, right? They pay $452 and we pay $452. It's completely unfair. Because usually in like condo neighborhoods, depending on the square footage is how much you pay. And that's not how it is in our neighborhood, which is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. So anyway, I've complained now enough about the HOA. 1-lane road ahead. Where, I wonder? Does it change over? But anyway, I was talking to my neighbors yesterday and they were walking down because he said, oh, he had this like Christmas box tin in his hand and he goes, so-and-so brought me Christmas treats and so I just finished them and so I'm taking them, the box down to them. I thought, I didn't get any Christmas treats from any of my neighbors. That would have been nice. Oh well. I guess they don't like me like that. That's okay. I actually was going to, I was going to buy, well, my neighbors on either side and then my neighbors across the street, I was going to buy them each Christmas gifts and I was going to buy them like a loaf of bread. Do you remember when, like last year, I went to, it wasn't really a farmer's market, it was that place out in the middle of nowhere, and I went one morning after I vlogged, or maybe while I was vlogging or something, and then I filmed the whole thing going through there. It was like something farmers, something. Maybe it was a farmer's market, I don't know. But it was like, they had Amish stuff there, like food and whatever. And I bought like bread for my neighbors. I was gonna buy them a loaf, so I was gonna go out there and I was gonna buy like loaves of bread. for all of my neighbors for Christmas. And I remember my mom back in the day, she would always make like banana bread or orange bread. My mom made fantastic banana bread. I can remember she would leave the bananas out on the counter until they were literally black. And she'd say, that's when you know that they're ripe and good for banana bread. And, but she would make banana bread or orange bread or something. And then she would wrap it, like she would put it in cellophane, you know, like clear cellophane. And then she would put like a big, like, you know, red plaid bow on it and then give it to like neighbors and stuff like that. I think those kind of gifts are always so nice, don't you? They had one of those hanging Pier 1 lamps, and they're those big round ones that I was talking about the other day that I used to have. If I baked or cooked, I would do that. I would make things for like neighbors and people on the street. My one friend that's sober, she literally sits at home and bakes all day long. And she always gives her stuff away. And she puts it in neat little tins and stuff. She's like one of the most incredible bakers I have ever seen. Like the stuff that she bakes is so good. We had this friend of ours back in the day, a friend of ours that went back out, and she was like one of my close friends that went back out, and she would make these incredible cinnamon rolls. And what is going on over here? She would make these incredible cinnamon rolls, and she would bring them over in like this, I don't even know how to explain it, like this pan, right? But they were already cut up and iced and stuff, and each cinnamon roll was like that big. Oh my God, they were so good. I just think there's such an art to being able to cook like that. Like I can't, I'm not a cook. Like even when I've tried to make stuff in the past, like it just doesn't turn out looking pretty. Like cookies don't. When I've made like bread in the past. One year for Christmas, we were going over to Caroline and Mike's, and I think my aunt and uncle, this would have still been when they were still alive. I wanted to like make all of these things that my mom had used to make and bring to stuff. So I made, what is going on with my eye? So I made deviled eggs, and they were too salty, and then there was something missing from them because everybody was like, there's something missing from these eggs. And then I made orange bread like my mom used to make, and it was kind of a mess. It got real hard real quick. And then I made raw apple muffins, and they were okay, but the raw apple inside of it was kind of like wet and soggy. So like nothing like turned out the way that I wanted it to turn out. I was so upset. Oh well. This coffee is still so hot. I've been trying to sip at it. Yeah, I gotta finish this. I gotta finish this true crime book. I gotta get it over with. It's so bad. I mean, not to mention that it like, I mean, I don't mind books that are like, you know, retrospectives or take place a long time ago, but this is like, it's talking about this gal, and she's like one of them that was killed. I think her name's Nancy. And they were like, Nancy's first record ever was The Grassroots. She'd listen to it for hours and hours and dream of moving to San Francisco and following the Grateful Dead. Like, because it's about this rainbow gathering hippie thing, right? I don't know, it's something about how she like tells the story. It's like, it's, do you know like when you listen to like a true crime podcast that you really like, or just a fiction book or whatever, and it's like a telling of a story? This is not like the telling of a story. It's like, Nancy was 17. Nancy went to such and such high school. Nancy had 2 parents. Nancy had 3 brothers and 1 sister. Nancy worked. Nancy did this. I mean, it's just like a list of facts. It's not interesting whatsoever. Not. Mel told me that it gets better. It stopped. I didn't know it was at the end. And I had to like reach way up here with my sore arm. I was saying that it's like spitting snow a little bit, but not very hard at all. I wish we'd just get like a really just big, heavy, dare I say, dump. I hate that word. I hate that word. But just like really just like all come down, you know, and then just enough for us to be inside for 24 hours and not go anywhere. Do you know, like, it just progressively changed, though, over time of not having snow. Like, I feel like even 5 or 6 years ago, I remember, like, having really bad snow in the winter. Like, when Alex and I first got, I mean, when we first were living together, when we had bad snow, I can remember us, like, talking about getting a snowblower and sharing it with the neighbors because the snow is so bad and our expensive HOA that we pay for. Oh, this is great. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. So, we now have these orange sticks. I didn't know what they were for. I thought it was for like the electric company that was coming out there doing something, right? But everybody has them in their yard. And then they're at the end of the driveway, okay, like right by the mailbox. And then there's one like up closer to where your walkway is. And so my neighbor across the street was like, do you know what those are for? And I go, I have no idea. And I said something to do with the electric company or something. He goes, those are snow sticks. And I go, what? He goes, those are snow sticks so they know where to plow. Everybody has like 2 to 5 of these in their yard right now. And I go, excuse me? And he goes, yeah. He goes, those are going to stay up there till the spring. And I said, they're going to keep those sticks in our yard until like the spring? He goes, yeah, because that's the only way that they know like where to plow for the snow when we get a really heavy snow. I said, I'm sorry, are we supposed to have a really heavy snow anytime soon? He was like, nope. I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are we keeping these snow sticks in the ground when we don't even get that kind of snow? Not to mention, when we do get that kind of snow, the policy per the HOA and the management company is they don't plow snow until the last snow has fallen, okay? So if you have 3 days of snow, they don't come out and plow the snow till the 3rd day, till the last snowflake has fallen. And by that point, you got all these 80-year-olds in our neighborhood out risking their health, okay, shoveling their own driveways. It's really sad, paying outrageous amounts of money for HOA fees. It's ridiculous. But yet, if you complain about it, they're like, well, I mean, run for the board if you want it. That's what they always say. I should run for that board, don't you think? I'm going to run for the HOA board. Peter for president. Maybe I really should. They just had their new, they have them every year though at the new year. So we just had our elections. We have this woman in our neighborhood. She's real nice. I like her, but I think she kind of plays both sides of the fence a little bit. And so she was talking to our neighbor across the street that's wanting to get this project approved and did get it approved, and then they backed down on it and said that they weren't approving it and all this kind of stuff, right? So I was out there talking to them. This is probably, I don't know, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I don't know when it was. But I was standing out there talking to them, my neighbors across the street. And this woman was walking her dog. She walks 24 hours a day. She's either walking or running or doing all kinds of stuff in the neighborhood. And she came up there and she was like talking, and they're like, now she just got approved on this board, okay? She just ran for being a board member and she just got approved, okay? Well, before that, she had told my neighbor across the street, I would just do the project and not ask them, okay? When it was a complete violation of the, what do you call it, the written, I can't think of what it's called, the bylaws, the HOA bylaws, right? Because I would just do it and not even ask them for permission. They're wanting to do a huge addition onto their house, okay? Which I could care less. Do it, right? They back up to the lake. So it's like nobody's gonna see it but them and the lake, right? So I don't know why anybody cares, but it's this huge issue, okay? And, So then we were standing there. Well, they changed the bylaws, and they went in and said that any pre-approved, because they had approved it, any pre-approved structural change to your, what do you call it, your condo, has to now be reapproved. Okay? So they've paid all this money to have this condo redone, right? And now they're being told that they have to have it reapproved. They're just like, all the money and stuff like they spent on supplies are just, they're waiting for these supplies to be, you know, brought over. Okay. So I'm sitting there talking to them, and I'm like, that's crap. Like, that's BS that they approved it and now they're telling you it's not approved, right? And they're like, the wife goes, well, apparently we can go and plead our case to the board at the board meeting. They have a board meeting once a month. So here she walks up, right? This lady, real nice. And she's talking to them, and she's like, yeah, what happened? And they're like, well, they told us that we have to get it reapproved now, you know, and here it is, that all of our supplies are sitting, like, you know, in this warehouse, and half of them are on their way here, and, you know, from cross country, and because they got, like, all this, like, special kind of wood and stuff that they're using. Anyway, so they're like, and we don't know now if we can even do it. And she's like, oh, that's horrible. She's like, I can't believe that. And the wife was like, yeah, but they told us that we could come to the board meeting, we could plead our case. She shut up real quick, okay? And I said, well, when's the board meeting? And she said, I don't know. They haven't told us yet, because they continued to have to postpone it because they're not meeting in person. They've been Zoom meeting. Well, see, any member of the HOA is supposed to be allowed to show up to these board meetings, like any of us. And, but they don't want us there, is the problem, because they don't want us complaining and bringing up issues, okay? So they've been having these Zoom meetings. They haven't been meeting in person. Well, this was the first meeting that they were going to have in person in like 2 years. So now this woman's on the board that's standing right there, okay? And she goes, and she don't do nothing all day long but walk around the neighborhood with her dog, okay? She said, so my neighbor goes, or I said, well, when's the meeting? I said, I might want to show up to that. Or she said something about me showing up or whatever. And I said, well, when's the meeting? And she said, I'm not really sure. I think it's like next Wednesday or something. And I turned to this woman, and let's just say her name's Sue. And I said, a boy named Sue. And I said, Sue, I said, you know, when's the meeting? She looked at me like, what? And I said, when's the meeting? Next week? She goes, well, the meetings are always at such and such Wednesday of every month, the last Wednesday of every month or something like that. I go, what time and where is it at? And she goes, you know, I need to check into that. And I go, you don't know what time the meetings are at? And she goes, I need to check into that. She goes, I think they're at 4 o'clock. I go, 4 o'clock? I go, who's having a board meeting at 4 o'clock when people have to work? She goes, well, there have been some complaints about that. I go, oh, I can imagine why. I said, so is it at 4 o'clock? She goes, I don't know, I need to check on that. And it was literally like 6 days away from the meeting. Well, my neighbors across the street, they ended up going. But when she walked away real quick, and I said to my neighbors, I said, she's not on your side. I said, she is not on your side. I said, she is playing the fence. She wants to make the board happy, and she wants to get along with the people in the neighborhood. She is not on your side. Because she would have looked at you right then and there, and she would have said, the meeting is next Wednesday at 4 p.m. at such and such a church. Be there, be square, have an itinerary, and come with a plan, because I want you to have this project get done. That's what I would have said. She didn't say that. Oh, I'll get back to you with what that time is. And you know what I found out later? She didn't even come back to them and tell them what time it was. They had to call and find out from somebody else. The president of the, they had to call the president of the HOA board. So this is the other thing that happens. So there's like six to 10, I think, positions on the board. And so those same 6 to 10 people have been on the board for like the last 10 years. Like, seriously. They just rotate positions. So when their 2-year term is up being secretary, well, that person just becomes the landscaping chair. And when the landscaping chair is done, well, that person just becomes the president. And then they all vote them in. And I'm like, okay, this is some serious scammery that is going on in my neighborhood. My stomach is hurting. Oh my Lord. God, I heard that before. I don't know who that is. I feel like I do know that number, but I don't know that number. I'm sure they'll leave a voicemail. Anyway, it's our vet. No. So I have rambled on long enough about the HOA. Who'd care anyway, right? The Christmas stuff's up for another week. Oh well. Oh well. I tried my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. These are the books I want to read right now. I want to read this thriller that Tanya told me to read, The Last Girl or whatever. I want to read some cozy mysteries. I miss reading cozy mysteries. I want to read, well, I guess I just read the Misfortune book, but I want to read the Tanya Kappas book, the next one, Campers, you know. And then I also want to read the next book that just came out, which is the sequel to What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I think it's called It Is Us or something like that. And I bought it and I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm really excited about that one. There's some really great young adult books coming out this year. And I don't know, I got all kinds of books that I bought and I haven't listened to anything on and I'm really wanting to listen to, so I will be trying those. Why is my sweatshirt always like right up like that? My battery just started to die, so let me pull in here and change my battery. I only have one other battery though, so I can't talk for long because I need to use it for my review as well. Putt putt for the fun of it, putt putt for the fun of it. Alex told me that his arm hurt for like 2 days and then it was better. Oh, they did leave a message. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I looked. It was the dentist calling me to the dentist office calling me to schedule an appointment. I need some new lip balm like nobody's business. Putt putt for the fun of it. Putt putt for the fun of it. How do you sleep 10 plus hours and then you feel like you could go right back to sleep? Because I feel like I could just like go to bed right now. I'm very tired. This truck over here started turning into this area and then got hooked up on the side of this. They're like hooked on, they can't get off this like sign thing. Do you guys see this? What you'll see when I go by. That's the sign. Now look, they're like, the truck is like hooked over there. And I haven't listened to my, God, what is with my sweatshirt? Quit doing that. And, oh my God, Dunkin Donuts is like busy today. They have several cars in the drive-thru. And Stroopel Waffle, which is what I'm reviewing over there today, the Stroopel Waffle donut. And I haven't got to listen to my podcast the last couple days because I've been going to bed early. Which I guess is good, but like if you go to bed early and then you get up and you're still tired, like what's the point? I mean, like here's the thing, like I wake up and I'm like awake, like I'm alert, but at the same time, I'm like, I could totally go back to bed. I think it's just the cold weather and the grayness outside just makes me want to go to sleep forever. Like it's just, I don't want to get up and do anything. This weather is conducive to complete lack of motivation. And just wanting to listen to audiobooks and snuggle up and watch TV. That's really what it's about. Tanya told me about this new show to watch. She said it was the best new show that she had watched ever. It's a detective show. But this is so weird, you guys. So when I said, what was the show called? Because last night, I remember that she when she was like looking at it in the car the night before, she said, oh, it's #1 in the United States right now on Netflix. So I remember that. So last night, Alex was asking what show it was. And I was like, does somebody know why this happens? Please explain this to me. So I said to Alex, I said, hold on. And I'm like looking through Netflix, right? And I looked at the top 10. It's not anywhere on the top 10, okay? And I can't remember what it's called, but I remember what the cover of it looked like, because it was this woman's face. Just that's all it was. So I like looked through everywhere, like new programs, trending programs, popular programs, everything. And it's nowhere to be found, okay? So I texted Tanya and I go, oh, no. Oh, I was looking through for this picture of this face because I remembered what it looked like. Couldn't find it anywhere. First went to the top 10 because that's where Tanya had seen it. So then I texted her and I said, what was the name of that show called? And she told me what the show was called. And so, and on her, like she screenshot it and showed it to me. And on hers, it was #2 in the USA. So I go in and I look up top 10, still not listed in the top 10, okay? I search the show and it comes up and it says, as soon as I pull it up, #2 in the United States right now. And I'm like, where is it not showing on this list? Like, I'm so confused. And the poster is completely different. Does Netflix have like 4 or 5 posters for each shows or something like that? I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, what is going on here? So anyway, these are my complaints for the day. In case you wondered, Peter, what are your complaints? These are my complaints for the day. They have a fire going in the fireplace so I can see smoke coming out of the chimney. That's cozy. Putt for the fun of it. I don't know why that song got in my head yesterday, but I think I just want to putt or something. Oh my God, there's a whole orange juice container on the side of the road with full orange juice in it. I love orange juice. Do you love orange juice? I love orange juice. Cinnamon toast. Cinnamon sugar toast. Cinnamon raisin. Oh my gosh. Yesterday, you guys, I got so much stuff done. I just was like going all day long yesterday. I had all these like places I had to like call for all different kinds of reasons. Got all these calls made yesterday that I wanted to make. And got all these errands run. I made a video on every single one of my channels yesterday, including 2 on my drama channel, you guys. 2 on my drama channel. And I made videos on every other channel that I have. So, I don't know if I'll do that today. I mean, I got up early, so I can film a lot, but I don't know that I'll do that today. But pretty impressive. I would like to have all of my videos done, though, by the time that I go to my doctor's appointment this afternoon, so that when I'm done, I can just relax this afternoon. Because last night, I was still uploading stuff till like 8 o'clock at night, but I had a lot of stuff that I had to do in between, and I was like straightening stuff up around the house, and I like picked up the dogs yesterday, and I was like, I like held Boo, and I was like, are we gonna have a good day today, and we're gonna light candles and have so much fun? And he just looked at me like I was so silly. And then I picked up Tucker, and I said, are you ready to have a great day? I had candles lit the whole day. The house smelled fantastic. Although, do you ever do this? Like, I had one candle that was lit, and I still don't know where it was. I think it was this candle in the kitchen that was lit, that like all the other candles were kind of like cinnamon, apple, you know, that kind of like fallish kind of like kitchen smells. And I have this one candle that was so off-putting. I don't even know where it was, but it was like fruity flower lemon or something. It was so bad, and I was like, where is it? Like, and it smelled like talcum powder. And I was like, where is this one candle? And I even blew them all out, you know, at the end. And I couldn't figure, I have never seen all those cars behind there because I always drive by here at night. This is like a car lot. But sometimes like when I drive by here, I like to look way out here at the field and see if I can see any deer just standing out there. I don't see deer very often, but I do see geese out there. But at night, I do see deer along this road, which is why sometimes I wonder, like in the daytime, if they're out there, but I think they try to stay hidden during the day. Maybe they sleep during the day? I don't know. What was I saying? I was talking about something else. It doesn't matter. Oh, the candles. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what this one candle was. It stank so bad, it was stinking at my whole house. And I was like, I want to get rid of this candle. I don't like this candle, but I didn't know which one it was. I actually got to the bottom of 2 candles yesterday. One was this honey candle that I bought a while ago, and the other candle was this tobacco candle that I feel like somebody might have sent me. It smelled really, really good. And got to the bottom of that. So, need to put some new candles out. I need to go through and organize my candles. Well, you guys, listen. I think I'm going to get off here now and finish this vlog up a little early today so that I can turn around and go do my review. But I also want to listen to a little bit of my audiobook because, well, I now have to listen to about an hour and a half a day. So I've got to listen to a little bit of my audiobook. And, but I also want to do my review and get home and start getting the stuff rendering. And those Christmas lights over there are so pretty. They look like, look, I'll show you when I drive by. Aren't they so pretty? Can you see them? There's like white sparkling lights. I love that. Anyway, it doesn't take much to make me happy. Anyway, I hope that you guys, oh wait, hold on, first of all. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.